Hi, my name is Brittany Newton. Today I will be talking about school uniforms and how schools will benefit from enforcing them. School violence is happening every day and is an increasing problem in most every school. Administration, teachers, and parents are searching for the answers to help keep students and staff safe while attending school. One solution that has been suggested is for all schools to enforce a stricter dress code and to assign school uniforms. Many believe if students are wearing school uniforms, it will help cut down on school violence, decrease the number of gangs, decrease the number of students bringing weapons to school, and also help lower the social and economic barrier between students. One problem facing our school today is the transportation of weapons such as knives and guns onto school campuses. Students are able to bring these weapons onto school grounds in baggy clothes, which allows the weapon to be hidden on the student's body or tucked into the waistband. Oversized pockets in pants and hoodies are also allowing the same type of transportation. According to the National Board of Association, they predict that approximately 135,000 guns are brought into American schools daily. These weapons are being transported in students' backpacks, in baggy clothing, and also in oversized pockets. In 2007, 10% of male high school students and 5% of female high school students reported being threatened with a weapon on school grounds. And during the school year 2007 to 2008, there has been reported 43 violent deaths that occurred in school. Another serious problem that schools are facing today is the growing number of gangs. These gangs like to identify themselves with certain types of colors and certain types of clothing. Economic and social barriers are another issue that students are facing today. Students who are less fortunate and not able to afford name brand clothing may get teased or made fun of during class. These students feel the pressure to fit in by buying expensive, trendy clothes, shoes, and accessories. The big question is, how can schools solve these types of problems that students and staff are facing today? Many propose a solution to these problems can be fixed or decreased by the enforcement of school uniforms. Lauren Tarshis, an author of School Uniforms, Awesome or Awesome, states that approximately 18% of American schools have school uniforms for their students. And in bigger cities such as Chicago and Miami, over half of them require students in school uniforms. If more schools enforce a dress code for their students, the crime rate would drop a tremendous amount. Students would not be allowed to wear baggy clothes and not be able to transport weapons into school grounds. Professor Wilder states that in some schools they even require for students to have their belt line exposed at all times in fear of transportation of weapons. He later reports that after students were required to use school uniforms, the crime rate dropped by 15%. Dress codes are supposed to reduce violence and bullying by taking style differences out of the equation. If all students looked alike, there would be no way for gangs to identify themselves with a certain color and the certain styles of clothing. This would help cut down on the number of the gangs and also on the violence that's happening on school campus. Social and economic barriers would also be lowered if students wore matching uniforms. School dress codes make it possible for all students to look alike and appear equal. This would help those less fortunate feel more comfortable, and since they may not be able to afford the expensive name brand clothing like other students. Another plus to these school uniforms is they are becoming cheaper and cheaper to buy now that more schools are enforcing them. So in conclusion, students would benefit a great deal by enforcing a school dress code. Public schools can decrease the number of weapons brought to campuses by enforcing school uniforms. The new dress codes will also help cut down on the number of gangs forming on school grounds due to the fact that gang members will not be able to identify themselves with a certain color and certain styles of clothing. Also, social and economic barriers will not be such of an issue at school. If all students look alike and appear equal, then other students will be less likely to judge one another and classify each other in certain social groups. The school campus would be a much safer place if schools went ahead and enforced school uniforms. School uniforms just might be the solution to our school's problems. Thank you.